Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, most merciful. Assalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin. May Allah give the blessing. Praise to Allah. Give the blessing to our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those who will lead us from the darkness to brightness. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to give you some suggestion and motivation in order you can perform well this morning. First thing first, I would like to give my salutation to the vice head of Islamic Higher School for the Students Affairs, Dr. Muhammad Yunus, and also Mr. Supriyadi as the quality assurance, and also the head of the Prodi Islamic Education and her secretary. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to our best and excellent judges for today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome and give your best clap hands to Mr. Michael Brooks. Yes, thank you. Mr. Michael Brooks is from America, and he came here in 9 days ago, and now he's waiting for permanent residence. Hopefully Allah will bless him, will grant him the easiness to be the permanent Indonesian. Hopefully, right, inshallah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to the second judge. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Nantikasi, Magister of Technique.
Salam.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Nantikasi, our second judge, is he got his PhD for the environmental studies, and he has been to Australia many times, and he associated with many locals of Australia, and hopefully he will give us his best value for today. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to remind you only two things for this for this competition. Number one is about the time. Okay, the time will be 7 to 10 minutes only, not more. Okay. The second rule: those who already participated, who's already performed, are not allowed to leave this room. Those who leave this room will be judged as disqualified. Do you get me? Right. Okay. Then there will be three, as I told you in the previous meeting, there will be three judging criteria of your speech development. First is about content. Yeah, content means that your speech is a good content or not. Yeah, it will be judged directly from native speaker Michael Brooks. And the second one is about the manner. Yeah, the way you perform your speech will be judged by Dr. Nantikasi, Magister of Techniques, and language appropriateness, the grammar, the pronunciation, the intonation will be judged by myself. Right? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Please prove your ability to speak English here. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir Joan namanya ya. Oke, sebelum kita mulai, applause sekali lagi. Peserta pertama yang akan kami panggil nomor 06.
Right, number right.
Matikan dulu ya, matikan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, judges, teachers, ladies and gentlemen, and all of my friends. Thanks for the chance. Today I can deliver my speech entitled Trust Problem in Tourist Attraction and How Should a Muslim Solve It. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know that trust is one of the biggest problems in the world. Based on www.wordcounts.com, every year we dump a massive 2.12 billion tons of waste on the planet. If all this waste was put on truck, then it would go around the world 24 times. And now, what about tourist attractions such as beach, river, mountains, lake, or so on? Are they free of waste? Unfortunately, no, everyone. Let me tell you what happened to Indonesia tourist attractions. I found two data in Tempo Travel surveyed by the Ministry of Environment and Forestry with the community of nature lovers in 2016. There were 453 million tons of waste in 8 national park tourist destinations. The garbage is generated by 150,688 visitors every year. Of the total waste, 53% is classified as plastic waste that is difficult to decompose. Then, in 2018, the Indonesian Institute of Sciences or IPI recorded the amount of marine debris in 18 locations throughout Indonesia. The amount is 0.27 to 0.59 tons per year. And the newest one is the data from Indonesia Plastic Industry Association or INAPLAS and the Central Statistics Agency or PPS. It shows that there are around 64 million tons of plastic waste produced by Indonesia per year, even reaching the figure of 3.2 million tons of plastic waste that has been dumped into the sea. Those plastics are mostly present in Indonesian tourist attraction areas. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is too sad, right, to know the number of waste in our tourist attractions. Can you imagine, everyone, the impact of it? Okay, now let me tell you one by one. First, marine pollution. Plastic waste in our river, lake, or sea can kill the fish and the other animals living inside it. They consume the plastic that they think that those are their food. Did you still remember on 29th of November 2018, a dark well was ashore on Papua Island, Wanyuwangi, Wakatobi Regency, South Sulawesi. The well was found by the fishermen in a dark condition and starting to grow. There were a lot of plastic waste Okay, next, land and air pollution. A lot of waste in our tourist attractions absolutely will pollute our land and the air environment, and finally, that will affect our health. Can you imagine, everyone? How can we have good brain with all garbage surrounding us? Or how can we drink with clean water meanwhile waste pollute our land? Well, ladies and gentlemen, our law of the Republic of Indonesia number 10 of 2009 concerning tourism has been stated that everyone is obliged to maintain and preserve tourist attractions. In addition, everyone is also obliged to participate in helping to create safe, orderly, clean atmosphere, or behaving politely and preserve the environment in tourist attraction. We, as Muslims, can just stay calm to see these situations. Allah clearly tells us in Surah Al-Qasas, verse 77. Here's the meaning. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. That says, truth that which Allah given you, and the home of the hereafter, and yet don't forget your share of the world and do good as Allah has done good to you, and desire not corruption in land. Indeed, Allah doesn't like corruptors. Moreover, in Surah Ar-Rum, verse 41, Allah strictly tells us to stop destroying the environment. Here's the meaning. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Corruption has spread on land and sea as a result of what people's hands have done, so that Allah may test them the consequences of some of their deeds, and perhaps they might back to the right path. Well, some action has been done by Muslims around the world for keep their environment. Reported by Brigafatu on January 7, 2018, thousands of Balinese Muslims cleaned up trash on Kuta Beach in Balinese Muslims community who care about cleaning up tourist attraction. And reporting by Republica, some Muslims in the other countries, for example in Canada, have several ways to keep their environment clean. They bring tools to make it easier and remove any trash or dirty things and put his trash in the trash bag. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as the Muslims too, it's our turn to keep our environment not only in tourist attractions. I invite you all to together we keep the environment, and please reduce our waste, reduce our plastic, or if it's possible, stop using it. We have to apply our Go Green model for the sake of our country. Go Green model is changing our lifestyle to environmentally care or eco-friendly. So, I think that's all my speech for today. Thanks for your great and attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay. Next. 03.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
The honorable jurors, all the participants of this speech contest, and all audience, good morning. To start our meeting this time, let us express our gratitude for the favors and guidance that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has given us all, so that on this Sunday morning we are allowed in this assembly to open our doors and insight about the height of Islamic law. Hopefully, this activity will provide benefits and be blessed by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Amin, amin, Allahumma amin. Salawat and greetings may abound to our Lord and role model, the great Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, also to his family, friends, and those who follow his instruction. Well, in this occasion, allow me to deliver my speech entitled Islamic Brotherhood. Ladies and gentlemen, Islam is one that gives love, compassion, and upholds the value of brotherhood. This is reflected in the words of Allah in Quran Surah verse 103, which is A'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa'tasimu bihablillahi jami'an wa la tafarraqu wadhkuru ni'matallahi 'alaykum idh kuntum 'a'da'an fa'alafa baina qulubikum fa'asbahtukum bi-ni'matihi ikhwana. Shadaqallahul 'azim. Hold on, all of you, to the rope of Allah, and do not be divided. And remember Allah favor upon you when you were enemies. So Allah take between your heart, then make him, because Allah favor those who are brothers. To describe the verse about to make it more brilliant, let us look back at the period of ignorance, where at that time the people of Mecca consisted of several people who were hostile to each other. So that at the time there were often wars or fight between tribes. Then Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala sent the great Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to call to them about Islamic law. That when they were united by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala in a brotherhood does not recognize any differences, whether ethnicity, skin color, or class. Because in the eyes of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, the only difference between all brands is the faith is in their heart. Ladies and gentlemen, and all audience, let us cultivate our brotherhood by always maintaining the integrity and harmony among fellow believers. Therefore, brothers and sisters should love one another, advise one another, and lighten one another's burdens. Because one believer and other believer are like one body. When one member of the body is sick, the others can feel the pain. That's what the messenger of Allah said. For that, let us cultivate our brotherhood by always spreading love, helping each other, and comforting with each
each other in virtue and goodness, so that an Islamic brotherhood will truly be created, a brotherhood that always holds fast to the ropes of Allah's religion. Allah confirmed this in Quran Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 2, which reads, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وتعاونوا على البر والتقوى ولا تعاونوا على الإثم والعدوان صدق الله العظيم. And help you in doing goodness and belief, and do not help in sin and envy. But it's really sad when we look at the reality of social life today, especially in cities. Helping is very expensive and forget the high business of every individual in society results them not being able to interact properly. Let alone help, meet, and interact, they also rarely do. They prioritize themselves, social collapse, and ignorance of the faith of others. Even if it helps, there is a material reward, even though the messenger of Allah said, Man nafasa an muslimin kurbatan min qurabi dunya, nafasallahu anhu kurbatan min qurabi yawmil qiyamah. Whoever relives a Muslim from the difficulties of life in this world, Allah will relieve one difficulty from the difficulties in the hereafter. My brothers and sisters who are glorified by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, let's live to help each other, feel the sadness of others, and feel happy with the happiness of others. We cultivate our sense of social and solidarity with others, and bury our selfish deep in selfishness and pride. Thus, God willing, we will become a Muslim individuals is prescribed with what is prescribed by religion. I think that's enough that I convey on this occasion. Hopefully, with study like this, it will further increase our faith in the eyes of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. And please forgive me if I have made mistakes. And thank you for the attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selanjutnya nomor 10.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Honorable judges and honorable the audience, all praises and thanks due to Allah, the Almighty, for all enjoyment who has given us. Peace and blessing might be upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who has brought human beings from the darkness to lightness. First of all, I like to say thank you very much who has given me to opportunity to deliver my speech on the title My Hope for Islam in the Future. Islam is the religion that Allah the most respected and will become the largest religion in the world of the movement. This is evidenced by the very rapid level of development and will become the movement of the
Keep motivating.
Islam is the religion that Allah the most respected and will become the largest in the This is evidenced by the very rapid level of development and will become the Muslim countries is the world are 57 countries. This number is a count only to us memberships. Compared our population in the world that stand at 17 billion or 22.7% of the total population. However, it is sad to say that the Islamic world threat is have threat.
Okay,
Take time. Take your time.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Peserta nomor 14.
Yeah.
14 yang tadi semua.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. The honorable juries and as well as my friends who I love and I'm proud. First of all, let us pray together, praise to Allah SWT. Secondly, we give to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Ladies and gentlemen,
Scared of you. I mean, like the brooks. Not to get hurt.
thank you for opportunity. So I can deliver my speech in front of you all. Title is My Hope for Islam in the Future.
Yeah. Good, good.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a student,
Wait a minute. Actually, you may bring your your text, but not read it. Okay? Don't read it. Doesn't matter. Yes, to make it very clearly and purpose and achieve. Doesn't matter. Do you agree, Mr. Brooks? Yeah? Doesn't matter, right? As long as you don't read it. Ada kopelanya teksnya? Silakan bawa dulu, tidak apa-apa. Ya, ini semangat. Ya. Okay. So Michael Brooks didn't have a problem with the text as long as you can or generate and deliver the message as the what we call content. Yeah. So it doesn't matter. Speak. Take time. Doesn't matter.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a student of Islamic Center High School, and as the next generation for our parents, teachers, society, and country, we are expected to be better and to be better in the future. This is because the future of our country is on hand, whether to be better or worse. Always will say, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن في يدكم أمر الأمة وفي أقدامكم من حياتها صدق الله العظيم. It means we have to do the best for our life. We study hard in order to increase our quality life in education. Safe and progressive school and country is dependent on us. The good quality of us make our country become forward. Not only good quality, a smart generation in education, but also we must have good attitude. Nowadays, we can see it everywhere. Of the young generation influenced by modernization era. For example, many of them consume drugs, cigarettes, and sometimes they consume alcohol. There is a moral value in their life because call their body and their brain aren't healthy anymore. Therefore, if it called their life and their future. With Islam, we can guide the young generation easy to be touched negative influenced by modernization. Because our country, our nation, needs a strong young generation. Therefore, they can be responsible for their life and our country. Ladies and gentlemen, as an Islamic young generation, I hope Islamic can be a guidance for we all as a young generation to do the best for our better in future. We must improve our ability and quality in education. Let's show the world that Islam and Muslim students are able to be complete with others. I believe by working and studying hard, the brighter future is ours. Be a good Islamic young generation, absolutely, we make our nation future bright. Happy ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all my speech. Thank you for your attention. As a Muslim student, let's pray that in the future Islam can make our country be better and create the best Islamic young generation and good attitude. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peserta nomor 01.
In every step is with a struggle, and in every struggle is with a sacrifice. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. Nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh. Wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlil fala hadiya lahu. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله لا نبي ولا رسول بعد أما بعد. First of all, I want to Almighty for His mercy and blessing. Because of these different days, we can get together in His blessed and time. Him only we worship and Him only we ask for help. Secondly, Salawat and salam of Allah may be given to God's messenger, Muhammad, peace be upon him. His family, his companions, and those who follow them with guidance unto the day of judgment. Ladies and gentlemen, in this golden opportunity, allow me to continue my speech entitled The Advantages of Seeking Knowledge in Islam. Ladies and gentlemen, seeking knowledge has a high position in Islam. It is an obligation for every Muslim, young and old, male and female. This was confirmed by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in hadis dari Anas bin Malik radhiyallahu anhu. Talabul ilmi fardun ala kulli muslimin wal muslimin. Seeking knowledge comes with several advantages for a Muslim. The advantages are explained by Allah the Almighty in the Holy Quran and mentioned by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in some words. Knowledge is a light that illuminates the path to gain the guidance of Allah. Knowledge is like a lamp in the dark night. It helps me to work without trading. It helps me as a success in the world and happiness in the hereafter. Without knowledge, human will go astray and live in misery. Ladies and gentlemen, Allah the Almighty says in the Holy Quran, A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Yarfa'illahu alladhina amanu minkum walladhina utul ilma darajat. Sadaqallahul azim. Al-Mu'minun verse 11. Let's look young people today. Let's look at today's young. They are to spend for
Ya.
and according to explain al-alimu kabirun wa in kana hadathan wal jahilu saghirun wa in kana shaykhan ta'alam falaysa al-ma'u yuladu 'aliman falaysa al-aghu ilmin kaman huwa jahilun wa innal kabira qawmin la ilma indahu saghirun idza tafat 'alayhi al-mahafil law kana nurul ilma yudraku bil muna maka la yabqafil bariyati jahilun ijhad wala taksal wala takun ghafilan fanadamatul ubba liman yatakasal Okay, we must be hard for this conference. Thank you very much for your nice attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selanjutnya nomor 13.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, praise God. All praise belong to Allah who has sent and echoes by guidance and a straight religion. Salawat and greetings humbly continue to be bestowed on our Prophet Muhammad SAW and his family, friends, and followers until the day of resurrection. Ladies and gentlemen, what does helping Islam? Helping each other in Islam is also called ta'awun, which means effort to help each other, energies between one party and another. Indeed, Islam commands people to be fair and always do good to everyone. On the other hand, Islam forbids its people to do wrong and persecute others. Islam teaches ever valuable investigation to be always commit peace and always pray out the virtues that are common to every Muslim. To help each other in disabilities. In this, pray with all sides and help you in doing goodness and bad deeds, and do not help counting sins and transgression. Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 2. This verse explains to us that all his values and positiveness and prohibits our from of in the negative, like anything which in the end gets sin. If you join side, the so-called sin is when you decide. The so-called sin is when you like something that are candid, believing, servant to help each other.
Balik kayo balik.
Into genocide. The so-called sin is when you like something that Allah has unlimited, candid. Well, the meaning of anything which is the engage sin. Well, the meaning of anything is to go beyond the limit that Allah has unlimited in religion and enjoying of each individual. The pleasure of help others will increase a sense of caring and sensitivity of people who need help and helping each other. Someone will be appreciated and respected, however, still should not expect anything in return to person who has been helped. Help has been given sincerely. Helping each other decide that helping each other can also create unity in the midst of existing differences both in terms of religion and sensitivity and race. That's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selanjutnya 09.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear judges, ladies and gentlemen, once I had ever asked myself about this simple question: why do we have a developed country, a developing country, and an underdeveloped country in this world? And what is the criterion to be the developed one? Is it a country with the most of the natural resources? Or is it a country with the most human population? Or is it the country with the most beautiful nature? Unfortunately, those are not the criteria, ladies and gentlemen. And according to national.com.pg, one of the main key of the competence one of the main key about the grouping that I mentioned earlier is the competent human resources. So what is a resources, ladies and gentlemen? And can we, Indonesia, as one of the world's largest Muslim nation, have the competent human resources? So let's talk more about it with me in a speech entitled Developing Competent Islamic Human Resources, ladies and gentlemen. Well, all ladies and gentlemen, what is human resources? According to Topper.com, human resources are every living aspect that is in the part of the workforce. Human resources is the most crucial and the most significant role, plays a significant role in a country's economy. Because without human resources input, other resources will be useless. Because that's why, as I said earlier, you can conclude that human resources is one of the most valuable resources that any organization or even country can have. Without human resources, the country or economy can't develop and perform well. Now, you must have been asking, is human resources in every country. Every country has human resources. So, what is the differences between human resources in this country to that country? So, what is the differences between them? And I can say that the differences is from the quality, ladies and gentlemen. As Stephen R. Covey, an author and also the co-founder of a company named Franklin Covey, stated that the qualified human resources should never give up, be diligent, be creative, never be creative, have a competent skill, communicating skill, public speaking skill, and many more. So let's take a look at Indonesian human resources nowadays, ladies and gentlemen. Can the Indonesian compete with those people? In 2021, according to CNNindonesia.com, Indonesian human resource productivity are still very low when it's compared to the other Asian nations like the Philippines, China, Singapore, and even India. And furthermore, in 2022, as it would say on the website suara.com, our Minister of Manpower, Ida Fauzia, said that Indonesian people were still very lagged down we're still very lagged down in terms of the digital competitiveness. Furthermore, she also added that Indonesian human resources education level were still below what is needed on the global labor market development, ladies and gentlemen, as 55% of our human resources only graduated from their junior high school. And of course, it is a big homework for the government, as Mr. Joko Widodo, the president of Indonesia himself, said that Indonesia will have a low quality human resources up until 2035. By that time, we'll be left by many countries. So, of course, we can't just sit and let it happen in front of our eyes without doing nothing. We can contribute some actions to fix the inequality of our human resources, ladies and gentlemen. And the key to the competence of the human resources is education itself. Because in Islam, we have our own education, which is Islamic education, which teaches us the balance of the life here on earth to the life there later on, the afterlife. And I am here to give you some tips to help improve Islamic human resources in Indonesia. So the first tip is aimed for the parents. Parents should invest more in their children education and provide them with the skills that they needed in the future. The second tip is aimed at the school. Teachers and headmasters should provide the students, the students, with both the shaping of characters and the skills that they needed in the working world right now, like the public speaking skills, communicating skills, and also the digital skill. And the third tip is aimed at the government. The government should pay more attention to our education in Indonesia, because you can't just let your people drop out of school like that and having that low quality education. The government should improve more in their free scholarship program for those who need it. At least let them finish their school up until the senior high school or even the university. It is better. And they can also provide the society with a free training skills that they needed for their workplace. And then finally, last but not least, is of course aimed at the students. We, ourselves, the students should never stop learning and praying for more and more knowledge, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders us in Surah Al-Mujadilah verse 11 to never stop learning, because Allah will raise the level of degree to everyone who is knowledgeable and the ones who never stop learning. So, ladies and gentlemen, if those four society aspects cooperate to improve the Indonesian education level, education program, I believe, all of us must believe that Indonesia Islamic human resources will someday rise into power and compete with the other human resources in this world. And because Allah insists us in Quran Surah Ar-Ra'd, verse 11, that Allah will not change the situation, the condition of a people until they change what it is in themselves. So Allah wants us to make move, not to stay silent of what is happening in front of our eyes. Allah wants us to make a change. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that my speech will mean something, and of course we can cooperate together to save our nation from its destruction, of course. So, with the guide of Allah, I hope that Indonesia will someday become a developed country, of course. That's all for me, guys. Thank you for your great attention. Forgive my mistake, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selanjutnya, nomor 02.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Would you work for day become your action? Would your action become your habits? Would your habits become your destiny? And then, in other words, what did you think you become? From zero to hero, from nothing to something and anything. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable judges, respectable speakers, and my audiences. Firstly, let's thank to our God, the Lord of the world and the Lord of the universe, who has been giving us mercies amazing, until we come face to face in this great agenda, namely a speech competition. Secondly, consultation will be given to our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik alayhi. Surely here, I'm standing in front of you. I wish to deliver my speech under the title, Education for the Young Generation. Okay, now, talking about education. Education is learning knowledge, skill, dexterity from generation to the next generation by learning, training, researching, and also possible from autodidact. Our country, Indonesia, has been being examined the right world of education. Okay, I'm Abita Dunestari. I want to tell you about education. According to Nadiem Makarim, education isn't not only in the class. Everyone can get education on outside class. Like that. We are as the young generation. We can improve our education to be better. We can get to better rank of world in education. Okay, the big question for us. What we should for our education to be better. Okay, in here my audiences. Anybody knows what about education? Up your hand, please, my audiences. Anybody knows about education? Please up your hand. Okay, maybe I answer the question. Of course, begin from the young generation, because young generation it can exhibit educational problem. It can exhibit educational goals. We are as the young generation. If the student make the positive impact for the other student, that is meant like as reading book, reading newspaper, or watch educational from television or mobile and so on. That's made the student to the big impact for the good student. Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
I want to ask to you all, is the education is very important in our country? Yeah, education is very important in our life, in our country. Because without education, we are alive. So many effects from education for us. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we know, education is an essential for our life. We can get education from the school, from life, from our sociality. So many communicate from the internet now. We can get the education from internet. Internet just not only important now. The students, the other people can make the money from internet, can get entertainment from internet, that can study, can make others from the internet, because the internet now is so good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all can understand what I say, because my education in our country now so down. I didn't know. What about that? I didn't know. But the first agenda, we will make our education to be better from just now. Because education make us to be better, make it our country to be better. Internet now, we can learn from the internet, because they learn a lot of things from the internet, they make money from the internet, they can entertain internet, and a lot of them. We are the students, so we are must to study diligently for our country. We want our country to be better, but where is your effort? Where is your effort? The best method of us to make our country to be better, that's our effort. Our effort. How about our effort? You are to study? Are you make others? How about your effort? For the first agenda in here, I will give you how the effort, how the education in our country. I will describe about our education in Indonesia that is so down. I hope what is our speech now? Can we get the learn from this speech? Forget our country to be better, for our future, for our child. This is the best country if we can make it the best. I hope our country for future to be better. Okay? Okay, so that's way our country now to be better. Me and myself. So support this title. We can improve our tech. We can improve our country. This is from us. This is from us. Because we are the student in Indonesia. Because Indonesia is our country. So that we must to study diligently for both our Indonesia to be better for our future. Okay, maybe just that from me. Thank you very much for your attention. See you next time. Bye bye and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selanjutnya nomor 11.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The honorable jury and the honorable all participants and the audience, and I, beloved all friends. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina may yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlil fala hadiya lahu أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله لا نبي بعده أما بعد. Firstly, we will thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala who has given us some blessing and mercies from so we can gather in this meeting in good situation and condition. Secondly, salawat and salam always be given up to our beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We give him, we guide from the dark way to the bright way, from the stupidity to cleverness, from the attempts as well. Thirdly, I will thanks to the MC who has given me time to speak in front to all of you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in this opportunity, I would like to give opinion about strengthening social solidarity through fasting. Fulfilling the fast of Ramadan is a form of obedience of a Muslim to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. However, fasting does not only tell about the relationship between the servant and his Lord, but also how fasting, that is, will a full woman can grow and strengthen that we will day from sunrise to sunset is not only to withstand and hunger and thirst. If the conditions and pillars are met, fasting is valid. But good worship is worship which, in addition to having a positive impact on oneself, also can influence on the surrounding environment, especially Ramadan fasting, which in a hadith, the Messenger of Allah said, Man awsama sa'iman falahu ajru sa'imin wa la yanqusu min ajri sa'imin shay'un. Rawahu Tirmidhi. The meaning, whoever gives food to the fasting person to break his fast, then for him the reward is like the fasting person without the reduction any time from the person reward. That is relativity. The hadith above clearly encourage someone to want to give alms by giving food or drinks to break their fast. The reward obtained are not half-hearted, namely getting a fellow commensurate with those who carry out fasting. This is evidence that in fasting there is a very high social solidarity. Hopefully, we can beyond make us I'm sorry to Allah, and the last I say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selanjutnya, kosong.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Which play an important role in the future generations. Further, I'm grateful that there are children at my age can take a lot of positive value from these cell phones. Do you know why? It's until the current generation feel sad to see today's performance are always based on social, which I often see on TikTok. Like children at my age wear the hijab, but the hair a little bit. Yeah, I know it's unique, but yet it's not allowed as far. A'udzu billahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ayyuhan nabiyyu qul li azwajika wa nisa'il mu'minina yudnina inna min jalabibihim. Dzalika adna yu'rafna fala yu'zain. Wa kana Allahu ghafura. Oh prophet, say to your wife, your captors, and the wives of the believers, let them sacrifice all over their bodies, so that they are identified, so that they are not distracted, and Allah is forgiving and most merciful. And I often see that children at my age wearing clothes that are a bit right. But I ask the current generation feel quite sad because there have been so many victims of rapes. Because clothes, because it in 5 hours. I hope in the future generations we can sort out the good one to post on social media. So by that it will not happen again. That's the first. Then my opinion with a positive impact on cell phones is that tutorials we can follow for daily activities, many tutorials we can follow for daily activities, many motivation videos that give guide or attitude is easy. And moral message can be taken from the video. My hope is in the future Islam will not leave its culture and continue to be good and active religions. There is always hope future generations can be what is right and which one wrong. In that case, parents should ensure necessary to direct children at my age. So by don't fall into negative things in social media. Okay, dear juries and audience, that's all my speech. I'm grateful because I'm standing here about to express my opinion on the things. At last, let me say
07.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa sayyiati a'malina may yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Amma. Honorable juries, respectable speakers, dear brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen in one Akidah, deliver our gratefulness to Allah Almighty, who has given us mercy and blessing we can be together in this stage, until we can enjoy the happiness in our life, until we can do our duties as good as possible. And salam, let's deliver to our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, who has brought us from darkness to the lightness as we feel up to now. Allow me to deliver a speech under the title, The Importance of Knowledge in the Future. Brothers and sisters, Allah protect you all. Life in the 20th century demands preparation. All individuals in the country must have adequate schooling to prepare them. With this in mind, national leaders everywhere are placing more emphasis on the education of the young. The seeking knowledge in the Islam has a position that is confirmed sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the hadis by narrated Anas bin Malik radhiyallahu anhu. Talabul ilmi faridatun ala kulli muslimin wal muslimat. Knowledge is like that is like a lamp in the dark night. Okay, I think this what I can say in this occasion. Thank you very much, and I say I'm sorry for mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selanjutnya nomor 05.
The Honorable Arjuris and the audience. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, let us give thanks for the presence of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, who has given mercy and guidance we can gather here. We always honor our prayers and greetings to our great Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who has brought us from the dark age to the light. As we know, Islam is the religion with the largest number of adherents in Indonesia, as well as the diverse Islamic culture in Indonesia, one of which is Hadroh culture. In Indonesia, has begun to be widely known by the public. Usually, Hadroh used at circumcision events, children's akikah, as well as even Muhammad SAW. Hadroh is tambourine art rather in Islamic, which is often referred to as a Shi'ar activity performed by commonwealth on the tambourine flight. This Hadroh art from Garut. To introduce this art were Kiai Ahmad Saifuddin and Kiai Surah. The Stukai began to introduce this art in 1917. In Akikah, usually the child will be carried by his parent or the representative of the family members. At that time, Marul Kiab prayers and the child's hair is cut. The opinion of some school arts in the fact are Akikah is the process of shaving the hair of the new baby on the second, 14, or 21st day after birth. Meanwhile, according to the term, Akikah is the slaughtering of some for newborn along with cutting the hair for the first time on the 14th or 21st day after birth. Akikah is sunnah muakkad.
That is, if you are able, you must perform akikah by words. It is a promise of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. From Qatada, from Al Hasan, from Sakra, for the Prophet of Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, every child is honored with his akikah. So on the 7th day after his birth, he said, "Set and give a name." Hadith by Ahmad, number 20,622 and 1,605. Ladies and gentlemen, let us have this Islamic culture that is not consumed by this modern era. I think that's all, and this will be a big mistake. Remember, following the time is okay, as long as we don't leave our cultural values behind. Thank you very much for your attention. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selanjutnya nomor 12.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable the juries and honorable the audience, all this and thank you to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, the Almighty, for all enjoyment who has given us. Peace and blessings upon His messenger Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has brought human breakthrough from the darkness to lightness. First of all, I'd like to say thank you very much who has given me this opportunity to deliver my speech on the title Muslim Solidarity. Ladies and gentlemen, civil society built on the basis of a consensus of local wisdom values. If local culture and wisdom are related to civic activity, then it becomes inseparable entity. Society cannot be separated from the cultural values and social life enriched. It cannot be built, but it must be related or even integrated. One of the characteristics of local wisdom is that it has a high of level solidarity. Solidarity offers a fireman and unity among human beings could not help the spirit of the brotherhood. Group solidarity is the basis of life based of character exemplified by the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam can have implication of the order humanitarian cooperation. The ladies and gentlemen, a person's motivation to take part in a growing social society is very diverse. It's a person's motivation to carry a worship such as praying, fasting, and so on. The diversity of participation and action in the aid of people tension and so on. History explained to us when the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam immigrated his followers, he said that the motivation and participation his followers will diverse. Some were motivated by war and some were because of the encouragement of the woman he want to marry. All of this is justified. It just that the best high quality of participation in the Islam religious view is because of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. The hadith which read Innama al-amal bi-anya and so on justify the religiousness of the motivation of the action. Therefore, the problem of Muslim community in the participation in social solidarity need to be addressed in order to achieve social piety. That motivation for participation must be created. The character that must be present in society are first, honest, second, responsibility, third, not to the chief. The people of Islam The Islam certifies deception, false promise, perjury, greed, strife, and ugliness of other human behavior. 4. Keep promise. And 5. Be generous. In a hadith, when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, advocated that Muslims be generous in social life, generous in faith, swift, courteous, generous mind, reasonless, and be generous life. The Prophet said, Allah is merciful to a man be generous when he sells, when he buys, and when other demanding right. Hadith riwayat Bukhari. If the 5 things above existing in every Muslim, we will easily realize a sense of solidarity, the community, because our fellow Muslim. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Al-Muslimu akhul Muslim." The meaning of Muslim is a brother of the other. Hadith riwayat Muslim and Bukhari. Past and present of Islam become rahmatan lil alamin, so that fellow Muslim have solidarity to help this army, everyone. Finally, I do apologize in any mistake. Thank you so much for the attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Oke, ini peserta yang terakhir, nomor 08.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I, Mutiara Kailazara, ever had a wrong concept of helping each other among Muslims, but then it was changed. Allow me to tell you my speech from my own experience entitled "The Concept of Helping Each Other Among Muslims." Well, one day, as usual, I did my hobby, which was traveling around the small city, Lubuk Linggau, by using my own motorcycle. I always have sightseeing for its river, hills, village, and so on. Often, I even get lost as I ride in some alleys. One day, when I tried to find a way into some alleys, I found a landfill, and then I stopped for one. In that landfill, I found people picking up the trashes, and there are some children playing chase happily there. I was confused that their houses are not strong, and also they wear some shabby clothes. It makes me feel uncomfortable, so I promised myself that I will never come back to the place anymore. And the next day, my mom asked me if I wanted to go with her to share some food. Well, my mom and her friends joined a community that shares food every Friday. So, coincidentally, on that Friday, I was free, so I agreed to join her. We went to the place, and to my surprise, that place was the same landfill that I saw yesterday. The same landfill that I promised to myself I'll never come back to the place anymore. But to my surprise, my mom and her friend shared the food without any talk. They even talked to their friend. As I get back home, I directly asked my mom, "Mom, why did you help them? Why did you help those poor people?" I don't really want to help those people if I were you. And then my mom asked me back,
wait a minute, what do you mean by repaying the kindness? And then I asked her that. I insisted her, well, Mom, if I wanted to help someone, I have to make sure that that person that I help could repay my kindness back. I don't want to get lost. Then my mom smiled at me while patting my shoulders. She said, please recite this verse of Quran, Al-Nisa verse 36, Al-An'am verse 162, and Al-Ma'idah verse 2. Try to understand the context. And guess what, everybody? I do really obey my mom's order. And then, in those three surah, I learned three things that I should do or have in helping each other. First, help anyone who needs your help without seeing their degrees, status, or even something like that. Moreover, in Surah An-Nisa verse 36, Allah insists to us the order of the people that we should have to help to. And worship Allah alone, associate none with Him, and be kind to your parents, relatives, orphans, the poor, and also those near or even distant neighbor, and close friends, and also your needy travelers, and the wants people who in your possessions. Surely Allah doesn't like someone who is arrogant and also boastful. The second one is help sincerely because of Allah. In Al-An'am verse 162, Allah tells us to say, surely my prayer, my worship, my life, and my death are all for Allah, Lords of all worlds. In that surah, Allah insists to us, don't hope any other rewards of kindness to any other creatures except to Allah. This is clear, everybody. When we want to help someone to do or get something, it doesn't guarantee that that person that we help will help us back in the future. And the third one is help one another in righteousness and piety, and do not help one another in sin or in enmity. Ladies and gentlemen, in Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 2 clearly said that about this rule. What does it mean? It means Allah ordered us to help someone in a good way or in the worship of Allah, not in a sinful or backward way. Then, I know you might ask, what is the meaning of helping someone in a sinful or in a bad way? I will give you one example as a student. Well, our teacher used to give us some tasks or even daily exams, right? So, the thing that I wanted to say is, our friend used to ask us the answer of the question or even the answer of the exam. And also, on one moment, they will beg us to cheat, to let them cheat our work. It's actually wrong for you to give them the answers and also to let them cheat. It's because it will lead them to be someone that is lazy, or even they will be lazy to study because they think that we will always help them. Well, ladies and gentlemen, right now, in this moment, I, Mutiara Khaira Zahra, realize that how noble our religion is. How Allah has ruled our life to be a good people and a fortunate people in the world, and also to be a safe people in life after. I hope that people is you, I, and all of the people in here. Thank you. Sorry if I made a mistake. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Masih ada yang belum dipanggil? Selesai? Okay, once again, applause for our
Selanjutnya, foto bersama Dewan Juri. Sebelum foto, ada sedikit motivasi, saran, dan pesan dari Dewan Juri. Yang pertama pada Bapak Dr. Nanti Kasih, kami persilakan.
Enggak di depan.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Ini saran saja ya. Jadi yang pertama tampil itu memang pertama fish. Saya tadi hanya satu yang lihat yang senyum. Ada hanya satu yang senyum. Karena kan begini, adik-adik itu mau ngajak kita semua ini berbicara sesuatu. Jadi kalau nak ngajak uang itu, mana lah muka kita dia? Sorry, Mr. Paul, I speak in local in bahasa, okay?
Just learning. You are learning now.
Ya, so you can learn bahasa. Jadi itu yang pertama ya. Jadi tampilan muka, karena kita mau ngajak berbicara sesuatu. Dan adik-adik punya ide saya ini. Nah, itu yang pertama. Kemudian, kalau saran saya, memang ketika tampil, berdiri di situ, nanti dulu ucapan yang lain. Jadi salam dulu. Assalamualaikum itu yang pertama. Itu. Jadi baru kritik yang lain ya. Itu salam assalamualaikum. Karena gini, kita dalam konteks keagamaan, religion di sini. Jadi salam itu dari pertama. Berdiri di situ, salam, perkenalkan diri. Oh oke, tidak perkenalkan diri ya? Oh oke, kalau rules seperti itu harusnya tidak perkenalkan diri. Tetapi begini, oke, kita ada nomor ya, kan ada nomor undian itu. Kemudian tadi sampaikan, saya akan berbicara tentang ini, itu yang duluan. Jadi jangan topiknya itu di belakang. Jadi gini, kami juga kan di sini meraba-raba nih. Nah, ketika disebut, baru misalnya tadi ada knowledge for future, kemudian solidarity, begitu. Itu memang harusnya topiknya itu didulukan. Jadi saya ingin tentang ini, nah, kayak gitu. Kira-kira nyambung nggak? Maksud saya kenapa saya sampaikan dalam bahasa Jawa supaya kita lebih ini ya. Kemudian begini, satu lagi ya, soal topik, memang jangan dihafal. Ya, kalau kita hafalkan, nggak akan hafal-hafal, tetapi dipahami. Jadi ketika adik-adik ambil satu topik, kemudian, jadi ada tiga sebenarnya, ada tiga hal. Ada tema, ada topik, kemudian ada title. Nah, jadi kita para juri di sini langsung paham. Oh, dia ambilnya ini, temanya ini, judulnya ini. Jadi kita kalau misalnya ada yang disebut tentang judul saja, kita udah paham. Oh, artinya yang ini dibicarakannya adalah ini. Supaya audiens nyambung. Halo, kira-kira nyambung nggak? Jadi berdiri di situ itu bukan asik sendiri, kayak kan kita kan ada audiens di sini. Ya makanya speech judulnya, ya. Bukan ngoceh sendiri di kamar mandi ya. Jadi kita berbicara di situ ini membahas satu topik, tema. Coba nanti buka di YouTube itu yang kita Gubernur DKI Anies Baswedan itu dapat apresiasi luar biasa. Dia hanya berbicara 2 menit. Jadi berbicara bagaimana membangun kota Jakarta, dia berbicara hanya 2 menit dan
Semua sedunia mengapresiasi beliau. Dan audiens langsung paham. Kita juri langsung nyambung. Jadi ketika bicara mulai dari struktur, kemudian tampilan, itu nyambung dengan apa yang dinilai. Gitu. Jadi ya sekali lagi jangan asik sendiri di depan berdiri ya, dan langsung umum. Karena gini, kalau gugup itu langsung biasanya suka lupa ya. Jadi kita agak, makanya sebenarnya satu dipahami. Misalnya solidarity, apa itu solidarity? Mulai dari meaning-meaningnya, kan ada di sini dinilai juga ya. Support material itu ada. Saya di beberapa peserta tadi juga ada banget gitu, karena ada sumber-sumber yang dia sebutkan, misalnya dari menteri, kemudian dari siapa, pengarang buku siapa. Nah itu luar biasa ya. Itu namanya support material dan itu dinilai. Ya mungkin Mr. Prof nanti yang menilai itu. Tapi saya juga ngamati karena memang begini, adik-adik akan menuju masa depan yang tadi ya, Indonesia. Dan yang mengisi produk future-nya adalah kita semua, adik-adik semua. Oke, barangkali itu ya, Mbak. Halo, barangkali dari saya. Terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
For many of you, this was probably your first time speaking to an audience. I don't want you to be discouraged. Let this be a step showing you how you will be effective as a speaker later on. We are going to be doing this again, and we want you to come back. We want you to take from today what you learned, how you felt, because publicly is an experience that you have to learn to adapt to. First time you do it, you're nervous, you're shy, you forget, lupa, you hesitate about what you want to say, but as you begin to experience doing this often, it will come natural to you. So don't give up. No matter what is the outcome of who we selected to be the winner, or whoever does not become the winner. Take this as a lesson that
Yes.
you've learned so that in the future,
Yes.
you will do better.
Yes.
All of you gave excellent speeches. All of you had excellent topics. What you learned from today will help you in the future. And I hope to see you again the next time we have this competition.
Amin, amin.
Okay, this is the last from me. Well, I've already charged it for two sections. It's about the appropriateness, yeah, and also the correctness. As a lesson for you to the next level or to the next competition, I found from pronunciation, I got some, oh yeah, when you pronounce the words were a little bit not correct or incorrect. Let me take examples. The word the honorable, not the honorable. This is common mistakes that I found when I was the judge of the competition, of speech competition. So whenever you join it again, next level or the next maybe experience, please say it correctly. The honorable. Yes. Next, opinions. Next, as well as. Next, generation. Next, birth. Yeah. And the last one is sensitivity. And develop and developing process. It will be different. Or developed, ending with D, and developed only without D. It's also different. Okay? And from the grammar side, I found some of you didn't use the models auxiliary correctly. For example, you want to say we are can. Yeah, if you find this word, we can, not we are can, right? And then I would like to, yes, this is also, I found some mistake that you do in the grammar. But for the audience, I agree with Dr. Nandikasi, yeah, some of you were really good. When you narrated, okay, a story, I found you look like international level. Wow, it's amazing. I was surprised. You know, I watched, what is that? Many of the speech contest winners. And some of you will be not only national, will be international winner of speech competition. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for seluruh dewan juri. Terima kasih banyak atas partisipasinya